Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing tonight? It's Saturday night. It is the night of Saturdays. And I feel pretty good. I feel all right. I feel actually probably a little too all right. We had family dinner, and so had a pretty good afternoon. If you're wondering why the stream was set up late, I was like, "You're coming over for dinner tonight." I'm like, "Are we doing anything for dinner?" She's like, "Yeah, we're doing something for dinner." So I'm here. I didn't actually know if I was gonna make it back in time, but I did. So we're here. Bet you Steve's already first. Steve, what? Oh. We're probably going to do a short stream today. We're probably going to do a shorter stream today. Just because I wanted to get some stuff set up before, but I was out and about doing family stuff, which always has priority. So what I figured today we're going to do, we're just going to have a little print and chill. It's Saturday night. It's a holiday weekend. It is what it is. We're just going to have a fun, relaxing print and chill. We do have some stuff to print. We do have to get the panels printing for this, for the enclosure. And then also, I do need to do some tuning on this printer. Are my belts lined up? Yeah, the belts look lined up. So what we'll do is we'll get some prints printingly. And then we'll mess around with this guy for a little bit. And then we'll move on from there. We'll just have some fun. Maybe you should check, see if my bot is working. Do you have a bot? I mean, if you have a bot, I will ban it. Yeah, turd. You better not have some like chat jippity bot. Like, I mean, you're here in the stream, so it's not like you're cheating. So that's like that's one of those things. Like, if you are using a bot to enter the contest, but you're actually here, you're just too lazy to do it. That's like when, it's one of those things you just don't tell anyone about, right? It's like you just don't tell anyone. Like, why would you bring attention to yourself in that way? Okay, so what are we gonna do today? First things first, I did some printing on this. If you're wondering how the giant benchy turned out, it turned out like a giant benchy. Behold, a bench. A big benchy is a bench, by the way. For those that don't know the proper term, it isn't a benchy, it's a bench. So yeah. Also, I found a random grub screw here. And I don't know if it was just living on my desk or if it fell out of the printer. I don't know. Okay, it's not out of those, so we're good there on those drive motors. I don't think it fell out of the printer. Snacks. So we had, so I went to my mom's house for a little family get together. It's a holiday. We have a dinner. So we had, oh my God, she did scalloped potatoes with a honeyed ham and like other stuff. And then it's also, because it was my son's birthday last weekend, we did like the family birthday for him. So we had a bunch of cake, and I had some beer and some wine, and I'm in a real good mood right now. I'm in a real good mood right now. You could be in a good mood too, because you can win a spool of polymaker filament. All you need to do to enter to win that is scroll down to the link in the video description, like the smash button, ring the bell, and then you enter for your chance. And we'll do the draw at the end of stream. Did he get more trains? No, we gotta go get paint. I thought he had a bunch of paint I printed a bunch of little buildings for him to paint, to set up around the trains. And we gotta get him some proper paints. Because I thought he had paints, and he does have paint, but they're not the right kind of paints, and he doesn't let the colors. He wants specific colors, so I have to go get paint. So yeah. Okay. So first things first, let's, actually I want to adjust some stuff. So I have been playing around a little bit with the printer when it comes to settings, and I think the PZ Probe just is happier with fast homes. Like I've had better luck with fast homes on this thing. So that's that. Save that. And then I think the other one is in here. Stepper Z. Homing speed 10. Yeah, it is 10. Okay, that is 10. Okay. There we go. So, if all goes well... Oh, I also have to do this. Gotta do a little bit of wire management here. 1 second. So, what is going on? What is everyone up to? Is there anything exciting going on worth yapping about in terms of... Is there any hot printer news to be talking about? I mean, it is Saturday, and it is a holiday weekend for a lot of folks, so I don't expect any like major announcements or anything. But is there anything worth yapping about while we get this all set up? Somebody left a video, or somebody left a comment on the I put a short out at the beginning of the week, basically going, hey, things are going to get expensive because of, you know, gas shortages and whatnot in the Middle East. And somebody left a comment like, oh, we don't have to worry about that. PLA is made with corn and naphtha and other chemicals that are used for making plastic come from like natural gas. And the US has a lot of that. It's a global commodity, folks. Yes, PLA doesn't use oil, okay? But corn does, because corn uses a lot of fertilizer. And a lot of fertilizer is derived from liquid natural gas byproducts and whatnot. So, yes, it is going to affect everyone, unfortunately. There we go. Home. Go. Don't break. Don't break. Don't break. Do the thing. Do the la la la. Oh. Okay, the filament is too sensitive. The filament tugged on it and caused a false positive. So that is something that is a downside with the PZ probe. You should have the full Bowden tube constrained, because for those wondering, I've seen somebody, but I think somebody left a comment or they asked on the Discord why I just have this short Bowden tube. It's because it's just a teaser Bowden tube. I don't have like a full enclosure on this yet, so I don't have the full proper Bowden tube run. I don't think I can jury rig one in right now, but that's something I probably should have, because what's happening and what's causing a lot of the crashing issues I'm realizing is basically we're getting false positives because of drag on this. So essentially, like having a fully constrained system where there is no, how do I word this? Having a fully constrained system where there's no tugging or pulling is bueno. That back corner, I think the reason the back corner gives me issues is this. It gets all bunched up and it's flopping, and it's like slightly affecting its repeatability. I think that's what it is. You bought a CB4 today with 8 gigs and it was 100 USD. That's a good deal, I believe. I think that's a good deal. Did I see CNC Kitchens? Yeah, I've known he's been working on that for a while. I've seen like some pictures of it on Twitter. I mean, it's cool if you need that. It's like fuzzy skin, but alternatives to fuzzy. It's cool. I don't know what I would use it for. It's cool. I don't know. CNC Kitchen, Stefan's been playing around with the LLMs doing coding stuff, so it's probably all vibe coded, which, hey, it's a fun project. Like, part of the thing, I'm in the process of, the video is mostly recorded. I just got to record some extra stuff for it. I hate recording tutorial videos because I like doing tutorials live, but I'm currently doing a video using setting up a computer to run Clipper in multiple instances because of the increased cost of Pi. How can we cut down the cost of running Clipper? Hey, let's use one thing and run multiple printers. That way we only need one computer, one screen, blah, 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 blah. But like, I have to like record things twice so I can cut between me explaining it and the video of it. I don't like, yeah, anyways, that's why I like doing stuff live. Anyways, long story short, after that, we're going to be playing around with some LLM stuff, all local, and trying to do small stuff, like entirely local and low power draw, and just seeing how much we can push around with that. But yeah, anyways, been using fuzzy skin on log. I used fuzzy skin for the mics just for extra grip. That worked pretty good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do some tuning. We're going to do some tuning. Let's do some pressure advance. So we got a Bowden, no, we got a direct drive setup. PA lines, yeah, that works. Okay, cool. Discard, I guess. So we're gonna do G-code path goes beyond the boundary. How does it go beyond the boundaries? What goes beyond the boundaries? No brim. Center. How does that go beyond the boundaries? Calibration, pressure advance, that. We'll do 0.08 or point. What is it? 0.1 is the last one, so we'll do 0.08. There we go. Okay, maybe that'll do it. Okay, slice. What's going behind the boundaries? Why is PETG CF? What? Jake, are you okay? Are you having a stroke? Filament is going up in price because somebody decided to blow up everything in the Middle East. Why are we outside the boundaries? Where? How? Though the maple syrup dilution scandal, dude, that thing has been what is going on here? This has got to be wrong. Something's got to be wrong here. Export G code. I'm just gonna export G code. Save. We're just gonna go with it and see what happens. Pressure advance. Go. See what happens here. But yeah, PETG, pretty much like you may see filament going up in price in the future. This is probably something that won't affect us like right now. But like some of the suppliers, NGO, I think 3M, not 3M, I can't remember, one of the other ones. I did a video on it, I did a short on it. They're announcing that their bulk resin is going up in price because it's one of those things that it gets passed down everyone passes the buck and eventually it cuts to us. So if you're a company in the Middle East that produces oil or natural gas, you're going to declare force majeure. Why? Because your shit's blowing up and you can't fulfill the contracts. So because you can't, and force majeure is basically French fancy word for act of God, okay? So force majeure, we can't fulfill the contracts. You can't fulfill the contracts for your liquid natural gas and your oil, so the ships that are supposed to load up with that shit and deliver it, well, they go, force majeure, we're not going to be able to deliver it. So that the refinery in wherever is now going, hey, our contract to supply us with these materials that we can refine isn't showing up, we're declaring force majeure. So now BASF, NGO, them that are supposed to buy naphtha or other raw material for the plastic extrusion process, or, you know, companies that make fertilizer for the corn that turns into PLA, well, now they're not getting their raw materials. So this is one of those things where it's like, it's not hitting us yet because the first domino is falling, which is stuff getting out of the Middle East. So stuff is going to start hitting the refineries. The refineries are going to start running into issues very soon unless the strait opens up. And remember, this is all global supply. So if you are one of those people who are like, I live in America, we make our own oil and natural gas. Great, you do. Guess what? Companies are companies that like money. So yes, you make your own stuff and you have your own national supply because you get it out of the ground where you live. But guess what? The companies are going to go, well, yeah, we could sell it to what we normally sell it here for our normal price, or we could sell it to the people over there that can't get their normal supply for a lot more money. Capitalism, ho! And they're going to increase their price. It's a global commodity. Just because you make it where you're at doesn't mean it's cheap where you're at, because people will buy it everywhere. And when there's demand, there's profits to be made. So, yeah. Also, one of the byproducts of natural gas, like getting natural gas, like mining? You don't call it mining, drilling? I don't know, whatever natural gas extraction, one of the byproducts of that is helium. You know, the thing you put in party balloons, that finite resource that we only have a certain amount of, and once it's gone, it's gone. Yeah, guess what? We need helium for chip production. You need raw helium, you need refined helium for chip production. So it's going to drive microchip prices up as well. Yay! Go enter to win some filament. Link in the video description. Yeah, you also need it for MRIs. You need it for a lot of stuff. Okay, so apparently this is going to go out of bounds, and I don't know why, but we're going to find out. It says it's an out of bounds, and I don't know why. Let me get Prusa Slicer loaded up here. So, stock up on filament. If you find it on a sale, or you are running low, I'm not saying panic buy. This isn't a toilet paper thing, okay? But the prices will probably start trending up soon pretty quickly. Suppliers are already raising prices. So filament companies buy the supply from these companies and then they turn it into filament. So you probably won't see like prices go up tomorrow, but if things keep trending the way they're trending come summer, the prices are probably going to go up. So if you print a lot of a certain plastic, you have a certain thick color, brand, whatever formula you like, it's not going to hurt to stock up now, because hey, it's not like you're going to not use it, right? It doesn't go bad, okay? Okay, so we have to print some enclosure parts here. Where is Micron? STL's Enclosure. Where is panels? There we go. Oh my god. Okay, so all these are accent. Oh my god, look at all these. Ah! So these are all the accent parts. So we're going to print this on this is just a regular Core 1, I believe. Regular Core 1 ASA. So this is that one. Or no. No. Accent is pink. Yo, accent is, no. Accent is gray on this one, right? Yes, accent is gray. So this is the Core 1L, because these are the accent parts. Yes, so Core 1L, right? Because accent parts are gray on this one. The main color is pink. Look at it do its input shaping. It is shaping those inputs right now. Okay, so how many of these do I need? One of those, one of those, one of those, one of those. 50 of those, 50 of those, 2 of these. Okay, so that. Okay, actually I already printed these. These I already printed. These are already on the printer. Don't need that. And we only want that. There we go. What are these parts? Hex inserts? Do I only need one of each? Okay. A, B, okay. So I need 50 of these. Oh my god. Set number instances, 50. Oh wait. Why do I need 2? Skinny and regular. What's the difference? One is slightly smaller. Let's go with skinny. You know why? It uses less material. We're saving the whales. 52. Always print extra. There we go. Any sign? I haven't heard anything from Polymaker. Polymaker's good. We like Polymaker. Buy some Polymaker filament. Link in the video description. They make good stuff. Okay. So we have this. No support. Do 25% infill. And we'll just do 3 walls. Do some tuning on this. We'll do some calibration tuning on this. We'll do advance. We'll do a flow cal, and then we'll throw some fancy PLA in it, and we'll print something fun. Zoomed out, this looks wrong. I mean, look at all this stuff. Okay, send to connect. Carl! You go, Carl! You got this, Carl! Also, tomorrow's video, I know it was supposed to be today's video, but again, I didn't realize it was a holiday and I was doing family stuff. Tomorrow's video is already up now for channel supporters. So if you're a channel supporter, I linked it in the Discord. I didn't do a full announcement like I normally do because I still have to make thumbnails and finish like the video description and everything. But if you're a channel supporter, a Patreon member, basically if you're in the Only Benchy Yacht Club on the Discord, I did post tomorrow's video in there for early, so you can watch it early. And then I'll make the thumbnail after the stream today because I got the video uploaded and then I went out to go do family stuff and I haven't been home since. So there we go. You're printing an F1 car on your H2S, like a full size or like an RC1? The RC1s are pretty cool. Okay, so that is off to that printer. So now, delete that. We need to go to the regular Core 1. Transfer those over. So now we need to do the main color stuff, which is all of this. Oh my god. So I'm assuming I don't need all these. I'm assuming I don't need all these. Okay, so which one is this? Okay, you know what? This is, one second. Preferences, dark mode, enable dark mode. There we go. There we go, now I can actually read it. 1/10 scale, okay. 1/10? Really, you can do 1/10. Do 1/10. Make it 1/10 is tiny. It's tiny. If I can do a 1/10 scale Gundam, you could do a 1/10 scale RC car or F1 car. 1/100? It's it, baby. It's little. It's little. Take a note out of 3D printing nerds circa 2020 era. Print it big. Print it bigger. 1/100 is like that big. Okay, so the print finished. It didn't error out. So that whole, hey, yeah, okay. Well, I guess it finished. Okay, I'm gonna let it cool for a bit. So which one of these do I need? Okay, so this is M10 MMU. We're not doing the MMU one. Goodbye, MMU. MMU, no. MMU, no. ECAS or M10? I don't know what it comes with. What does it come with? Do we have ECAS or M10? I think we have, you know what? I'm gonna use M10 because I think I have a bunch of M10s. And I much prefer the screw-in connectors. Yeah, we'll do M10. I much prefer the screw-in connectors. I got more bite. So, okay, get rid of you. No call it. No, I want the call. Or actually, I could probably go no call it. No, I want the call it. I want the call it because it's going to be. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So arrange that. Okay. Oop, got a little bit of filament in there. Ah, the bed's hot. The bed's hot. Okay, now the fun part. So this, copy, paste. This, copy, paste. Those two. Can you? Oh, you can't. Oh, wait, can you? Set number of instances. Okay, well, 15 and 16. We'll just make 16 of them. Okay. Oh my God. Oh wait, no. Delete, 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 delete. Okay. Screwed. We're not using screwed. We're using the clippy ones. We're using the twist ones. Where'd the twist ones go? There we go. Yeah, we're using the twist ones. There we go. Okay. Set number of instances, 16. Okay. For those, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. 2. Yeah, we already made 4 of those. Okay. Hinge barrel, hinge barrel. Okay, cool. That's everything, I think. Is that all? Oh my God, I was gonna say, if it fits all in one, that would be surprising. Okay, now, obviously, I'm not doing that. So you go over here, you go over here, you go over here, you go over here, you go over here. We'll put all the big stuff on one bed. And put all the little stuff on the other bed. There we go. So this, arrange current bed. There we go. Okay, and then this, arrange current bed. There we go. Okay. So now, 0.2 balanced. One part. It's except for one part. man. And we're getting thunder today. So it's thunderstorming, so if I suddenly disappear, you know why. And if I come back within 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we're good. If I don't come back within 10 minutes, assume that's it for the stream. Okay, so send to connect. So I think I only have core 1.2 is ready to go. I think it's core 1.2. Yeah, core 1.2. Okay, yeah, because core 1.1 is loaded with PETG. Okay, so core 1.2 is loaded with our pink filament. Set ready, print now, print. There we go. Okay. Are you going? You're transferring, good. Let's take a look at our input shaping results. What do we have for input shaping? Class, what is our optimal input shaper value? Who could tell me the optimal input shaper value? Tell me it right now. You had an earthquake? Yeah, didn't California have an earthquake? Okay, I'm looking at this, and it's gonna be hard to say, but I think it is. Wow, it's the same as every other direct drive boron I've ever built. It's 0.04. Oh my God, it's 0.04. Actually, it might be 0.0. It actually might be. You know what? I'm calling it. I'm calling it. This printer flew close to the sun, and we're gonna go with something out there. There we go. There we go. There we go. .042. We're living on the edge. We're halfway there. Whoa. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna do a little bodge job here. 1 second. Little bodge job. 1 second here. So I can't really do that because it's loaded. But I do want to. One second. I'm doing a temp fix here. A temp thing. Temporary. It's annoying because I don't have anything that locks into that. You know what? You know what? I'm just gonna put a piece of tape, but I don't even know if I have tape out here. I got tape. Good old tape. When in doubt, tape. Do I have a knife? Do I have scissors? No, I don't, because I brought it all inside. I brought it all inside to work on stuff. There we go. There we go. This is a horrible tape. I mean, this is like the absolute cheapest Tessa tape that I bought like 5 years ago for tape chains. It is not optimal. Okay, so those two printers. Why aren't you transferring? Send to connect. Core 1 L2. Print now. Are you transferring the file? You're transferring the file, you're just being slow about it. Okay, well, it says it's doing its thing. Tessa tape. Tessa tape. It's like hockey tape. Nope. Prusa slicer. Oh, I gotta... 1 second here. Prusa connect. This part is annoying. I wish... So, Prusa Connect, for those that don't know, it will save your files in the cloud, and then once it's full, because what it does is it transfers your files from your computer to the cloud and then the cloud to your printer. So it's nice, so you could see everything you've printed on every printer. So if you need to find a file you printed like 2 weeks ago on a random printer that you've already printed, you could just pull it from the cloud, which is kind of nice. Like, this feature is nice. I've done it before, where I needed to print something and I pulled it from the cloud. But the problem is, once it's filled, and there's no way to like remove all, because it removes like only the page. Like, you can't like, here, let's go by biggest, select all, remove. There we go. So there's no way to like clear all type thing. So, and you could search by different printers and whatnot. So, okay, so back to plater, send to connect, core 1, 2, print now. There we go. There we go. Transfer. Now it's. Do they try to sell you? I don't believe they try to sell you. I don't think you can even get more due to invalid printer state. What do you mean invalid printer state? Oh. I don't think you can even get more than a gig. I mean, most sliced files aren't that big to begin with. I don't think you have the option to purchase more. Yeah, you just have 1 gig. I don't think there is a way to purchase more. Okay, let's see here. See if that works now. Core 1, 2, select, set ready, print now. There we go. Now it's doing it. Okay. So that is done. So now calibration, flow test, YOLO. Upload and print. That's effed up. It like false homed. It tripped on something. I think it does another home before it does a QGL, hopefully. Otherwise it's gonna crash. I just removed about 50 gigabytes of videos from my Google Cloud. Dude, I know. I have like 200 gigabytes on my Google Cloud, and it's crazy how quickly it fills up sometimes with videos. Because like sometimes I'll record a video of my printer for like B-roll for a video, or while I'm at an event. So I'll have like 5 minutes of 4K 60 footage, and if I forget to clear it or like download it, it's like it'll add up. The moment you get like a couple of those, it fills up so quickly. So also, remember the Swapper 3D? Remember that, like the Swapper 3D? That was like the first thing that showed a nozzle changing thing. Apparently, here's one in action. I don't know about you. This setup seems very a little tilted. This poor stepper motor is oh, like, don't get me wrong, this is really cool. This is something you see on CNC machines. This is absolutely a normal thing on a CNC machine. This is really cool. I'm not saying it's not cool. But there's got to be a better way to do this. Because that poor stepper motor. That printer is like one bump away from... Yeah, okay, that's a crash. 1 second here. Probe trigger prior to movement, yeah. So yeah, that's really cool, but that is not a optimal. Okay, let's try this again. Oop, file error, file transfer error, abort. Sure, my grill is closed. My grill is closed. I still got to do the Core 1 Plus upgrades on my 2 Core 1s. We got to do that at some point. Decent keel. Oh. I hate how it does that one. Like it's just sometimes doesn't trigger fast enough. I'm wondering if there... Yeah, something's effed. Okay, what's going on here? Let's go up. What is going on here? Let's try... Let's try this. Save and restart. Let's try this. Make sure those are tight. There we go. Oh, you're heating up. You're happy. Okay, let's try this again. Flow rate test, print. Hey Luke, what probe type? It's a PZ probe. E3D PZ probe. I used it just because I didn't like this. This kit comes with the clicky. But as I was building, I'm like, I have an E3D PZ probe because I had one in the printer that we turned into a stealth changer. So it's like, oh, I'll just reuse the probe because it was just literally sitting right here on my desk, and it'll save me from having to set up a clicky. It's a PZ probe. You just throw it in there, plug it in as an end stop, and off you go with your life. But it's a little, I don't know if it's just this tool head is just not rigid enough, or there's like, because I went through and I did like make sure everything was tight. Like I went around and made sure everything was tight. And that trammed out on the first try. You're cooking up something for the U1. Is that the video I seen on, you shared on, I think, Twitter or whatever, of one going... Had to disable XY. So how do you home XY then if you have to disable XY? It probably doesn't help these are loose. Probe activates and deactivates it. Yeah, but if you disable motors, you have to rehome them, don't you? What's Twitter? A really shitty site, but unfortunately there's still nothing better for what it is. For microblogging. So. Ooh. Oh, that's spicy. Oh, wow. Okay. Is something short? Is something short? That looks like something shorted. That looks like a short. The U1 shocks me. It's awesome. Not without fault. Yeah, it's definitely, the U1 is honestly, as far as a first generation motion, I don't know, well, it's a tool changer, but for a company that like Snapmaker, what did Snapmaker make before? Okay. Snapmaker made the 3D printer that I refuse to review. Okay. They made like this thing. This printer, the modular printer that every 3D printer reviewer got one, and you never saw them use outside of the video where they review it. And then they come out with the U1, which it's not perfect, but for a first generation product, from like, they had never done a Core XY and they had never done a tool changer before. Actually, was the J1 Core XY? But okay, they've never done a tool changer before. And it to come out, it be good and cheap and do pretty much what you tell it to do. It's got some quirks. There's room for improvement. It's a first gen product. But the U2, if they take everything they learned from the U1 and come out with a U2 in the same price bracket and include a top hat, it's just gonna sell. Gangbusters. Yeah, Snapmaker's been around for a while, but they never really had something that, like, kicked off. It's a Bamboo copy? What's a Bamboo copy? That's a Bamboo Toolhead TH9 board. Yeah. What's a Bamboo copy? The U1? The U1 is not a Bamboo copy. Bamboo hasn't done. The one thing, Bamboo, basically, I give Bamboo all the credit for kicking the 3D printing industry in the butt and getting them to actually move towards, hey, let's move this out of the hobby sphere. Now, there are downsides to what they've done. The absolute, in my opinion, the absolute glut of slop landfill models that now exist, because people try to sell 3D printers as toys now, and people are printing random fidget shit that honestly is going to all end up in the garbage, and none of this is really practical. Like, that aside, Bamboo came in and basically kicked the industry in the butt and said, stop making fucking Ender clones. Make actual good shit that moves the industry forward. And hey, it kind of worked. It kind of worked. We are better off now, post-Bamboo entering the 3D printing industry, than pre-Bamboo, for the average consumer. Now, there's been pros and cons to this. Don't get me wrong. I have some criticisms of the way Bamboo operates and the way the industry is now heading. They're basically trying to generate a market. These are CNC machines. These are additive manufacturing CNC machines. The tech is nowhere near the level where everyone needs one of these in their home. Okay? Not everyone needs a Bridgeport. I would love to have a Bridgeport. I know how to use a Bridgeport. I come from a machinist background. My mom does not need a Bridgeport. Okay? My neighbor across the street does not need a Bridgeport. Okay? He asked me, my neighbor, my neighbors know I 3D print. I think I've gotten one of them to actually buy a 3D printer, because I'll make the couple things they want for their kid, and then I ask them a couple months later, hey, does your kid still want this? They're like, no. I know, this is why companies don't send me shit, because I don't promote their stuff like that. Check your Facebook Marketplace. Check your Facebook Marketplace. See how many Bamboo A1s are on there. It is, and other 3D printers, entry-level printers. A lot of people buy the printers, they print for a bit, realize, hey, I didn't need this thing. I bought it because I saw a TikTok. I printed my Baby Groot. I printed my Flexi Dragon. I tried making that Iron Man mask that we're all going to make one day. And it's been 6 months and it's just been collecting dust. That's kind of the problem. They're trying to force a market to exist where it's like FPV. It's like FPV. Okay, I fly DIY quadcopters. The DJI drones. How many people do you know went out and bought a DJI Mini or something because they're going to make all these cool videos, and then they made a couple videos and they just kind of stopped? I know a lot of people that did that. So, yeah. Most gadgets are like that. I know. But don't get me wrong, I give them credit. They got the industry moving forward. They scared the crap out of Creality and Elegoo and Anycubic and all those companies. So, yes, obviously it's also impacted Prusa, but Prusa kind of has their own little niche that they're doing pretty well in. So, I have a P2S, no AMS, and it's great. Honestly, for a lot of people, a bare bones like Centauri Carbon or P2S is really all you need. The multicolor stuff, I don't do multicolor. I print a lot, and I don't really do multicolor. It's if you need to do multicolor, it's nice that the ability exists now, but paint works too. And if you're doing anything that you're going to post-process, multicolor isn't worth it if you're going to post-process it. So it's kind of like you have to be like, I'm okay printing stuff in colors, but I have no intention to actually paint or smooth or sand anything. Like, I do multicolor prints. I paint them because they get bondoed and sanded out of multiple parts. So, my AMS is an autoloader. Honestly, that's what I ended up using mine for most of the time, with just autoloading filament rollover. Filament rollover is wonderful. Yep. So, this is something I did not know was happening. Or, I knew it was happening, and then I completely forgot that it was happening. And this came across my timeline earlier today. And I completely forgot that this was going to be a thing. And then I forgot, like, I knew it was going to be a thing, then I forgot that it was going to be a thing, and then I was reminded. They're making an Elden Ring movie. Like, A24 is making an Elden Ring movie. I completely forgot they were doing that. Look at that. That's a Statue of America prop. Like, there's the Church of America. Like, I completely forgot they were doing that. Video game movies are hot. Well, they're also making a Mass Effect show, which I'm a little about. We'll see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Back on my timeline. But the fact they want to make a Baldur's Gate 3 show set after the game ended, I am very... The Helldivers movie. I'm telling you, the only way to do the Helldivers movie is if you have a rotating cast of characters and they all die by the end of the movie. You need to have like your core 4 team, and they need to die constantly and be rotated out with other actors. And it needs to be like, the problem is, how do you separate it from Starship Troopers? Because it's heavily based on like the kind of bravado in Starship Troopers, the movie, not the show, not the book. Lord knows, not the book. So the God of War series seems to be pretty good. Although the first image of Kratos and the boy, they might need a little bit more time in the oven when it comes to set dressing and, you know, costuming, but I've got pretty high hopes for the God of War movie. Or show. Boy. It's not B-O-Y, it's B-O-I, it's boy. Harry Potter show? I don't care about the Harry Potter show. They absolutely translate well. Yeah, okay, so the problem with video game movies and adaptations happens a lot from the fact that you have writers and producers and directors that want to make their own thing, but end up getting attached to something else. Like the Halo show. A good example is the Halo show. From my understanding, the Halo show was supposed to be a Mass Effect show. It was supposed to be a Mass Effect show that the pitch fell through, so then they shopped it into generic sci-fi show, and then they just found an IP and attached it to it. So, yes, Master Cheeks, that show could have been any sci-fi show. They basically had the general everything, and they just needed an IP to shove in, and they ended up getting Halo. But apparently they wanted to do Mass Effect first, which, if you realize, like, hey, the main character, they wear these, like, spandex suits, they travel to different planets, they bang an alien chick, hey, that's Mass Effect! At least the Fallout show takes... That's the other thing, too. They always set it in their own universe so that, like, we can do what we want. We don't have to follow the lore. At least the Fallout show takes place in the Fallout universe. Like, it's canon to the games. So, it's got that going for it, which I like. Yeah, The Witcher, the first season of The Witcher wasn't too bad, and that's all I watched. Because, unfortunately, The Witcher show... ended after season 1, and nothing happened after that. Do I have any special wire? No, this umbilical is just the tube itself. I don't have anything in there. When I get the enclosure on it, it will be, I'll put something in there. I'll put a wire or something in there. But for now, it's just flopping in the breeze. Stargate is just a rip-off of Wormhole Extreme. I understood that reference. Sora died. They cost too much money. Video generating AI run at scale do not make any money. They cost like, I think it was like $20 to do like a 5-second prop with Sora. It was like $5 a compute. It's and also for the Halo fans out there, let's be honest, Halo kind of died with Halo 3. Halo Reach, yeah. But, like, story-wise, Halo ended with Halo 3. Everything after Halo 3 is a fever dream in terms of the canon. I'm sorry. Everything after Halo 3 is a fever dream. Halo 4, 5, and 6 are basically the equivalent of the Star Wars sequel saga, where it's like, everyone is completely different. Everyone is completely different. Like, no continuous story. Let's start from scratch. Every 4, 5, and 6. Start from scratch. Start the plot from scratch. Reach and ODST. Yeah, I mean, Reach and ODST were good, but I mean, like, canon-wise. When Master Chief gets, you know, the ship gets cut in half, and he's left floating around in space, ends there. And then he gets picked up by the UNSC Marathon, and Marathon 1, 2, and Infinity happen after that. And then the canon ends there. UNSC Marathon, they find Chief floating in space, his brain's all gush by then. Cortana is completely deactivated. They rebuild him, turn him back on, reset his memory, and Marathon 1, 2, and Infinity happen. That is my canon ending of Halo. Okay, so after we do this, I need something to print. Somebody give me something to print. I'm going to find some funky filament. Let me find a funky filament to print. Petchy Black, Matte Gray, Panachroma, Gray Forest. Matte Forest? What is this guy? I think this is a refill. I don't think I have any Polymaker spool holders. Oh, that's just like a light green. I need to find a funky color. What are we going to use for a funky color? What do I got for funky colors? Do I have funky color? I've got a bunch. Let me go downstairs. Let me go downstairs to grab a multicolor print. Let's grab something down here. What's down here? What is down here? Let's grab something funky. I gotta have some. Oh yeah, there we go. Go with this guy. There we go. There we go. Some Polymaker, Polylite PLA, Starlight Neptune. Starlight Neptune. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, Henry Cavill, it sucked because Henry Cavill was so into it. And then the problem was, it had the problem a lot of shows have, where the writers want to make their own thing. They don't want to make somebody else's thing. They want to make their own thing. So they start changing stuff. And it kind of kills it. There's a red warning. That's because I'm missing. Ah, shoot. What is it? The warning is exclude object. So what do I add? What is it? Just exclude object. What? Is it just exclude objects or include exclude object? I can't remember. What is the what is it called? Exclude object, include exclude object. What was it? Clipper. I just gotta enable exclude object. Yeah, underscore. Yeah, exclude object. Yeah, exclude underscore object. Save. I just haven't enabled it yet. Couldn't have a bunch of printers. I do. but they're all slightly different. That's the problem I have. All my printers all run slightly different configurations. That's kind of the downside of my setup, and which is honestly why I run so many Prusa's now, because it kind of got annoying having a bunch of different, having a bunch of Vorons all with slightly different settings and profiles where you have to adjust stuff constantly, whereas the Prusa's are just, they're all the same. They're all Prusa's. They all print Prusingly. A monolith kit? I don't know, because we're going to be doing a Trident rebuild, or a V1.8 rebuild with the monolith gantry, but I have the parts already. I 3D printed them. We're going to be using the 3D printed monolith gantry. It's going to be I'm a little concerned with aluminum parts in a high temp printer because there's the expansion issues. And I don't know for sure if the parts will actually work on a V1.8 frame. So I kind of would feel bad to take CNC parts and then they not work. Also, the other problem is I only have one Trident. I only have one printer that I could put the monolith gantry in. Okay. This V2, I don't want to do it because this one is set up for VVD, and putting monolith in here would, I don't know. I don't want to. One is already set up for stealth changer, don't want to. The original V2 I have is running some custom CNC parts I made myself. I want to keep those. That Trident is running the Seabor all-wheel drive kit, so there's really no point changing it. And then I have another Trident downstairs, but that is slated for stealth changer, or for Index, and Index needs some not monolith compatible stuff. So as of right now, I actually don't have a frame that I would want to put the CNC monolith parts on, if that makes sense. I might still take them. And who knows? Because I was planning to actually start faffing around with the monolith rebuild of Toasty Boy pretty soon. Start, maybe Saturday we'll do a teardown of it, start building it, figure out what parts I need to order from, so I'll go through my inventory, see what I have, what parts I need to order and whatnot, because I have the parts right here. I got them. They're glass-filled nylon, high temp, or they're glass-filled PPS or whatever. They're pretty good parts. So I already have them. So did I do? No, I haven't backed it up to GitHub. I don't know how to use GitHub. You think I know how to back up profiles to GitHub? I don't even know how to use GitHub. Monolith will cause the AI to go crazy. Do I have a bamboo? I have two. I have a original X1C that they sent me, a pre-production X1C, and also a P1, the one without the panels. They're both downstairs, and I don't use them because the X1 is running X1 Plus firmware. The P1 is fully stock, and I just stopped using them. They didn't fit into my workflow. The way you have to use a bamboo printer is relatively similar to every other 3D printer, but slightly different, and I didn't like the workflow with them. My biggest gripe is don't tell me how to use my tools. I want to use them the way I want to use them. Bamboo tells you how you use their tools. and I don't like that. So I just kind of stopped using them. Also, the fact that when their machine almost caught fire in my basement because their thermal runaway was set for 3 minutes and it started smoking up my basement, and I went, holy shit, why don't you have thermal runaway? And their response was, actually, we do have thermal runaway. It takes 3 minutes to kick in. We're going to blacklist you now from our company for bringing that to light. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So, yeah. Yeah, they're the fun thing is the whole event was live streamed, so I can't hide what happened. It was live streamed. They told me to replace a board. I replaced the board, or I went to heat up the printer to remove filament that was loaded. It started like I go, okay, unload printer, yap yap yap. I turn around, hey, is the printer unloaded? Smoke coming out of it, and I'm like, oh shit, turn off printer. Okay, what the hell? Pull out the old board, put the new board in, because there was like a pre-production board or whatever. It wasn't a board issue, it was a firmware issue. Put the new board in, and try to recreate the situation, and hey, it just heats up. It just keeps heating up, and it just starts smoking. And we're like a minute in, and it's still smoking. So I turn off the printer and, go on Twitter @Bamboo. Where's your thermal runaway, brah? And they're like, they come in later and announce, oh, hey, no, it kicks in at 3 minutes. Every other printer firmware, it's like 15 to 30 seconds for thermal runaway to kick in. Theirs is like, nope, 3 minutes. And it's not documented anywhere. So they push out an update to lower it down to more industry standard timelines. And then they blacklist me from like their communications network. So, yeah, that's Bamboo. They have they are the company that has blacklisted more creators than any other company I know. So much can happen in 3 minutes. Yep. Nah, it's because I did it publicly. Because I broke face. I broke face. I did it publicly, and I called them out in a public space. They did not approve of that. If I had gone to them, quietly. But the problem is, because of that, I've had multiple people communicate to me trying to bring up issues to Bamboo about, like, this is back early days. This is early days. Most of this stuff doesn't apply anymore. But early days, I had people reach out to me like, hey, I'm a software guy, and I think I found a security issue or something, and I've been trying to get a hold of Bamboo, and they're not responding. And my response is basically, do it publicly. The only way they'll reply to that shit is publicly. So it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. This was years ago. I haven't interacted with Bamboo at all since. I don't really care anymore, but people keep asking. So, also, I am still fervently disappointed in the fact that they refuse to show up at a Rep Rap Fest. There has been multiple Rep Rap Fests that I've gone to where Bamboo sponsored or said they're going to have a booth, and nobody from the company shows up. I am seriously disappointed that that is their stance with the community. That they're willing to take our money and sell us printers, but they won't show up for a freaking Rep Rap Fest. Prusa still sends a team to frickin' Murph. And Bamboo can't send like 3 random token employees to go hang out at, a Rep Rap Fest. A big Rep Rap Fest compared to like Murph. So. Yeah, well. Yeah, the day after they announced the firmware authorization controls, or how I like to call them, firmware lockdown controls, I flashed my X1 with X1 Plus. Yep, and also funny, the only Bamboo printer that you can put custom firmware on, the X1 series, is the only printer line that they have discontinued. The P1 became the P2. They launched the H series. They launched the A series. X1, their flagship printer, the first one that they came out with, probably the model you want to, like, in terms of naming, you want to keep going because it's the premier. It's your first big printer. That one they killed. They killed that shit. Had nothing to do with that. It could be hacked, I bet. And yes, I wore a tinfoil hat for that, because that's tinfoil hat shit. They want to be at Gapple, yeah. Although Bamboo goes to CES, I think. Bamboo goes to like Rapid, they go to CES, they go to like the big industry trade shows, but they won't show up to a rep. They won't. Speaking of, 2 weeks to Murph, Rocky Mountain, or Smurf. Oh my God, there's too many Murphs. Rocky Mountain's in 2 weeks. Holy shit. Rocky Mountain's in 2 weeks. Who's excited for Rocky Mountain? I'm excited. I'm looking forward to Rocky Mountain. But it does, in my opinion, it does make sense. The X1, in my opinion, was dead the moment the enclosed P1 came out. Because you just buy the P1, the P1S, you buy a P1S, you put in a hardened nozzle hot end, and you replace the extruder gears with hardened extruder gears, and you are 95% of the way to an X1 for like a fraction of the cost. So honestly, it made no sense to buy the X1 once the P2 or once the P1S came out. Because guess what? They printed pretty much exactly the same. Yeah, the webcam was shittier, and yeah, the interface wasn't as fancy, but at the end of the day, it made a damn plastic boat just as good as the X1 did for the majority of people. What's the difference between Remurf and Smurf? One is in England, and one is in Colorado. They're Rep Fest. Rep Fest is a 3D printing convention. There are multiple throughout the world. The ones you may have heard of. The first one, Midwest Rep Fest. And then there was East Coast Rep Fest, which became 3D Printopia. Not a huge... I like the fact they changed the name. Not a huge fan of the 3D Printopia name. It sounds like a Disney thing, but whatever. And then you have Smurf, which is the Sanjay Mortimer Rep Fest. That one's in England. And then you also have Rocky Mountain Rep Fest, which is in Colorado. Technically not Denver. It's like an hour north of Denver in Loveland, I believe. But that's Rocky Mountain Rep Fest. And then there's JERF now, which is the Japan Rep Fest, which I think started last year, and then it's also going this year. Good on them. It's something I would love to go to, but I do not have the time or the budget for that in the schedule. And then, yeah, but the first one was Murph, which is the Midwest Rep Fest in Goshen, Indiana, which is honestly, they need to move it. They need to move it because that location is, they need to move it. Okay, let's get this bed off, let it cool down. Still no barf. Yeah, the Bay Area Rep Fest, barf. That one would be funny. I love that Remurf is 40 minutes for me. Nice. Yeah, it's a bit of a flight for me. It's a bit of a flight for me. Yeah, it's like a 3-hour flight from Detroit to Denver, and then I need to get a car ride from the airport to Loveland. Still want to start a Nerf. New England Rep Fest. It'd be nice if there was something in Canada, in like Southern Ontario, like London, Toronto. The problem is there's nothing. There is nothing. It would be kind of cool if Hacksmith would do something, but I don't think I think they're way too busy. And definitely, like, considering how much of a pain in the ass running something like any Rep Fest is doing alone, let alone doing it with like Hacksmith is in the London Kitchener area, but they don't really do 3D printing stuff. Like, they use 3D printers, but it's not like their thing. I'm down here in Windsor, but I'm nowhere near enough of a community to justify a Rep Fest. Plus, Windsor kind of sucks. If anything, it would be better to have it in Detroit. Which there was some people trying to do a Detroit-based Rep Fest, but I think that kind of all fell apart, which I don't blame it. Doing community events can be expensive and stressful, and it's a pain in the butt to get everything working. And if it falls apart, it falls apart. It is what it is. Like, you don't hold malice against those that try to do an event like that. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's just kind of one of those things. Okay, let's see. What do we got? What do we got on the plate? What's on the plate for us tonight? So I'm trying to remember how this is supposed to work. It's supposed to be whatever one's the smoothest, right? So in this case, I would say negative 0.04. Or negative 0.05, actually. Negative 0.05, yeah. So that's... yeah, negative 0.05. So generic PLA, edit. Oh, what's the flow? Where's the flow? Flow ratio 0.0, so we'll go down to 0.04. There we go. Was that 8 before? What was that before? 8, yeah, so 3. There we go. Save. PLA, micron. Okay. And then strength, quality, infill. Where's sparse infill? We always over extrude our infill. 0.2 micron. There we go. Okay. There is Rapid. Rapid's an industry show, though. Rapid is a completely different beast. Rapid is an industry show. Actually, I should probably hang on to a couple of these just for B-roll footage. Okay, so now I need to unload this filament, and we're going to print something in Polymaker Starlight, which is like one of those shiny filaments. So this is the filament. Your homework is to find me something cool to print in this. Go join the Discord if you have it. On the Discord, there should be a channel for the live stream chat. Post the link to something you want me to print in this cool filament in there. I'm going to get this unloaded and loaded in the meantime. How's these prints coming along? Coming along good? They're coming along good. Good. Actually, while that's doing that, let's slice this other one and send it over the printer so it's already ready to go. Oh. Core 1, 2. Select printer. Add to queue. Murph should come to Detroit. If Murph were to move to Detroit, that would be awesome. But I don't, from my understanding, the people that run Murph are local to the Goshen area, and the event basically doesn't cost much to run. The location's cheap, the venue's cheap. It's basically people just show up, set up, do their thing for the weekend and leave. So it's kind of like, do you want to move your easy to run event to a completely other city that you don't live in, 3 hours away, and have to deal with the increased pricing because now it's in a big city, which means the venue costs go up, which means now you have to draw an audience to pay for the venue because you don't want to end up in the black or in the red. It's like, I get it. So, yeah. Okay, so now we take you out. This was really nice filament. This is the new Polymaker Polylite, or the Polymaker PLA Pro. It's not Polylite, it's PLA Pro. I really like it. I've done 2 prints with it so far, and I think I like it a bit more than just the Polylite stuff that they normally have. So if you're looking for a new PLA, check out the Polymaker PLA Pro. And if you are interested, there is an affiliate link down below. Or hey, you could just enter to win, because at the end of the stream we are giving away a spool of filament. So if you want the guarantee to get some, well, you got to buy it. But if you want to roll the dice, you might win one at the end of the stream. So there we go. And if you're wondering what box I'm using here, this is the printed solid spool holder. It works really good for this kind of use case. I have family in Michigan. I mean, I'm right across from Detroit. I can Sarah Palin it. I can see America from my house. Is that reference to Boomer? Do the kids get that reference? Oh my god, am I dating myself with that reference? I'm dating myself with that reference, aren't I? Goshen isn't that far. Yeah, that's the problem. The problem with Goshen, what's killing Murph is the fact companies aren't going to it anymore. Because if you're E3D, if you're Prusa, if you're any company, right? Think about it. You want to get stuff to the venue, you can't just fly into Goshen. You have to fly into Chicago, which means like the big Chicago airport, not Midway, the O'Hare or whatever. So you have to fly to the big expensive Chicago airport. You have to rent vehicles, and then you have to drive 2.5 hours to Goshen, and then do the same thing backwards to leave. So it's expensive, right? It gets expensive. So I get it. Plus, and also, because it's in the middle of nowhere, shipping like a pallet of your stuff isn't as reliable or cheap. It's a logistic. The whole thing boils down to logistics. That is what's killing Murph, in my opinion. The logistics of it. It is logistically a problem. It is logistically the location. There we go. Okay. So, what are we printing? Where are we dropping, boys? What am I printing? What have you shared with me to print? Who is DMing me? Luke's DMing me stuff. I want to talk with you, Luke, because I got an idea. I kind of want to talk to you about an idea for a printer. Just because you're sharing me stuff that's not public. And it's cool. And I like that shit. But because you have fabrication, I kind of want to... I want to roll an idea by ya. So... what are we printing? Oh, these stupid fidget toys. I hate these things. I hate the bunny. We're gonna print the bunny. Let's print the bunny. It's Easter. $150. We'll do the 150 bunny. We'll do the bunny. It's Easter. We got to print the bunny on Easter. Okay, cool. Okay, what is this? Why did you bring me to a fucking bamboo? Oh my god. Micron Plus. Discard all this bamboo shit. Oh my god. People that... oh my god, it's a 3MF. Is there STLs? No. This is why I hate 3MF. This is why I hate 3MF. Don't bake your bamboo shit into my profiles. Okay. Strength. 3 walls, whatever. 4 top, 3 bottom, cool. What's that fancy infill? Oh, I don't think this has that fancy infill pattern. Or, does it? Crosshatch. Is it D or FK for the TPMS? Which is the cooler one? Is it D or FK for TPMS? Oh, that looks cool. We'll go with FK. Look at that. Look at that. That's a cool infill pattern. Let's go with FK. Look at that. Look at that infill pattern. We don't need that much, though. We'll do 10%. I'm going to leave this out for the little guy in the morning. There we go. Export. Save. Okay. Upload and print. Ready to print. PLA. Is it called ready to print? Yeah, it's called ready to print. Okay. Look at the bunny. If I had a business trip and I had to pick between Miami, Florida, USA, Berlin, all the fans turned off. Is the printer okay? No, the printer's okay. Oh, I think it just cooled. Oh, it just cooled down below the temperature to turn the fan on. South Bend has nonstop flights to most of the vacation destination. So that's the thing. There is an airport nearby Goshen called South Bend, but the thing is, it's like a regional airport. So like flying into it from outside of the U.S. is not guaranteed, and usually it's a connecting flight too. So it's like, yeah, you might be able to fly into like Atlanta and then to South Bend or something, but you're not flying right into South Bend. And also then with connecting flights, price goes up and it might be better. It's much, yeah. It's like the airport I live nearby, the Windsor Airport. It's like I can get flights from there to like Toronto regularly, and a couple times a week they fly to like Halifax, Calgary, and Vancouver, and then they also kind of fly to Cancun a couple times a year. That's about it. That's about it. I ain't flying from Windsor to Halifax, or I'm not flying from Windsor to Denver. I gotta fly from Windsor to Toronto, or I just drive 40 minutes to the Detroit airport and fly wherever. So that's why I fly out of Detroit. Plus, also, the other thing killing Murph, Rocky Mountain. Rocky Mountain is the Denver airport, is a big international airport. There's a reason the Voron team has our big event at Rocky Mountain, because it's easy for everyone international to fly into Denver. Because Denver is a very big international airport. Lots of flights go in. Lots of cheap flights get there. The venue's in a good location. It's a nice location. Everything kind of works out where Rocky Mountain makes more sense. So if you're a company and you're going to go to the States and you have, there's 3 Rep Fests. One at a busy location that's easy to get to in April. One at a small location that's not that busy, that's pretty niche, that's kind of hard to get to in June. And then another one in a big location that's kind of easy to get to in September. You're probably going to go to the first one of the year and the last one of the year. You're probably not going to go the one in June. So, also, I'm hoping the weather's going to be nice this year. Unless you have a big launch. Well, that's the other thing too. Like Rapid is at the beginning of the year for trade shows, and most people don't launch stuff at Rep Fest anymore. Like when I got into 3D printing, Rep Fest were where people launch stuff, and now it's like Formnext is kind of the big launch event. Like people kind of launch stuff at Formnext now. I am going to squish this ever so slightly. Have you tried Helix screen yet? I have not yet. I need to get a new screen for this printer. The touchscreen I got on it doesn't really work too well, so I need to get a new screen for that. So maybe I'll play with Helix screen. We'll see. Maybe we'll do it on Toasty when I rebuild it. We'll see. Actually, no. Toasty's probably going to get like a freaking crappy screen because I don't need a screen on it. Colorado's always had very mild winter. What blue is this? One second, I gotta find. What blue is this? I can't remember. What is this color? It's industry blue, right? Industry blue. We're gonna go. For Toasty Boy, want the E-stop skirt mod I made? Maybe. I have an extra E-stop somewhere. How long do you think until we get a Moonraker replacement that allows for macros to be selected when sending print so you can turn on off ABL or time lapses when sending the print? I have no idea. I have no idea how, because Moonraker is an API layer. So you have Clipper, which is printer go burr. Printer go burr. Clipper is low level. Like Clipper is down here. And then Moonraker is how like everything talks to Clipper. So you got Clipper, and then you got Moonraker, which is the API layer, and then you have like, you know, Mainsail or Fluid or Octoprint or whatever sending everything down. So basically everything that goes from here goes through Moonraker to Clipper. And as for how it all communicates, I got no flipping clue. It go beep boop and zeros and ones and printer go burr. That's I don't know. So I am not the one to ask when that stuff will change or if like that kind of stuff is even possible. So. Where Murph feels like it should really be for locals. That's what it's kind of turning into. The last time I went, I didn't go last year, but I went the year before, and it really felt more like a maker fair, like a local maker fair. Like here's the thing, Murph could keep on keeping on exactly as it is, and it will probably always survive exactly as it is. But you won't see any growth from the way it currently operates. It needs a better venue. It needs a better venue. And a little bit more organization, I think. The fact that there's no, like, it's all run through, like, a Facebook page, and you just kind of... I think you could sponsor booths still to get a guaranteed booth, but a lot of time you just kind of show up and take a table. So... Canuck Creator, heated bed, 110, 220, 1000 watt, A1B for 120, A2 neutral. What? Skyrim, if you are asking me what wires to use, I'm going to say default to whatever the manufacturer recommended is. Because it's going to be, if it's 110 or 120, I have no idea. Reach out to the manufacturer, which is Honey Badger West 3D. Follow their instructions. I haven't used a Honey Badger bed before that is capable of doing 110 and 120. And if they have different wiring to wire it up for 110 versus 120, follow the recommended. Don't ask me. I don't have one in front of me. I've never played with one. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Luckily, you're wiring up for 110, which means you're in Yankee Doodle land, North America, like I am. Okay, which means worst case scenario, the bed just kind of sucks. If you wire up a 220 bed to 110, it just runs a quarter as good, right? Because it's getting half the voltage and square cube law and bitch like that. It's when you wire up a 110 bed to 220 that you have a bad time. So if you can only ever give it 110 volts and it's wanting 220, it just doesn't run that good. That's what Bamboo does. Bamboo beds are all 220, all their mains beds are 220 beds. So if you're in Europe or Asia, the beds heat up much quicker than they do in North America or Japan. And I think, I don't know what Australia is, but if you're in 110, your Bamboo beds run at like, they take half as long or twice as long to heat up because they're running at half the voltage. Or is Fabrico? Is it a Fabrico? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, either way. See, this is why you don't ask me for wiring on that kind of stuff. So it is 220. Australia is 220. I mean, to be fair, technically here in North America, we are 220. Like, I have a 220 plug right here. I got a plug for 220 right there. That is a 220 plug. It's the 220 plug. I have it. But it's 220 to our panels, and then it gets split. So it's like two-phase 220, and they get split into single-phase 110. So all your devices run at 110. But you can do 220. I have 220. We do have 220 here. It gets split to 110 at your panel for common electronics. That is a very pretty infill pattern. That is a very pretty infill pattern. So, did anyone get anything cool from the Easter Bunny? Anyone getting... Oh, wait, no, tomorrow's the Easter Bunny. What infill? This is TPMSK. It's one of the infills in, or FK. TPMSFK. And there's also TPMSD. So if you want to see what this looks like, I think D is the cool one. I think there's one that you don't need to hop over. It's like continuous. I think it's D, yeah. Yeah. I think D is the one you want to use. Because it avoids like crossing perimeters, I think. Canuck is the H2S in Orca? I think so. I would assume so. I haven't looked. I mean... The Costco bunny gave you 4 times more candy. Dude, my little guy, we went to my mom's today and we had some family there. My sisters and whatnot, or my sister and whatnot. I keep forgetting I have a stepbrother and stepsisters. I keep forgetting that. But the little guy got loaded up with candy, which means daddy tax is gonna kick in. And then don't forget, we are doing the giveaway at the end of stream today for a spool of polymaker filament. So enter for your chance right now. Link in the video description. While you're down there, don't forget to like the smash button, ring the bell, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And hey, if you want to help support the channel, the content I create, and the things I do, consider becoming a channel member, a Patreon supporter, or if you're really cool, gifting memberships to others. If you're a channel member, you do get videos early, you get extra channels in the Discord, and you do get monthly, we do a members only live stream. So fun perks for $2 a month. Or you can be nice and gift to other people, and then they don't gotta pay. And it's a gift. It's the holidays. What? I love when people reply to somebody and I don't know where their message is at. Oh, that's live chat. I wish you could click on, like, when somebody replies to somebody, I wish you could click on their name to see. Oh, I wish they could figure out a way to make these cool filaments a strong layer adhesion. It's because you want to know what the thing is, to make filament shiny, you add the same polymer that you use to make TPU. So you can't mix it with certain plastics because they don't bind. So you basically add a little bit of TPU to your PLA and make it shiny, which also kind of sucks because to make stuff shine, you have to print at a consistent slow speed. And if you print too fast, it gets a little matte. So you got to be careful printing because if you speed up and slow down, you'll get different, you'll get a different surface finish. So silk filaments, I'm not a huge fan of silk filaments to begin with. They tend to have downsides. Like I had to look for this spool of silk filament because I normally don't stock silk filaments. They're not something I actively acquire. Gorilla8617, cheers for becoming a channel member. Appreciate it. I updated the firmware to the latest on my Manta yesterday after they upgrade Orca crashed and my K-Touch also lost connection with the printer. Someone have same problem. What do you mean Orca's crashing? Like, you may have to make sure your Wi-Fi is the right... I don't know why it would cause Orca to crash. And for your probe, just make sure your pins and everything are correct. Like, if it's throwing an error, you may have to update stuff. Like, if every time you update Clipper, depending on how old your Clipper install is, you may need to re-flash any controller boards. So toolhead board, your main controller board, maybe your screen, depending on what kind of screen you're running. That is something you may have to do depending on how much of a leap you've done in upgrading Clipper. My rule of advice, don't upgrade Clipper unless you need to. Any experience with the Revo Micro? I've got Revos in a bunch of printers. They all work good. They're very good just generic hot-ends. Unless you need something specialty or you need something like really high flow, Revos are like my go-to. You didn't give me anything specific when you asked me for what nozzle to put in your print or what hot end to put in your printer. Get a Revo. That's kind of like my go-to. Orca crashed when sending. I don't know. Update your Orca slicer to the newest version. I haven't encountered that error before, so I've never looked in how to solve that error before, so I don't know. Check the Orca slicer Discord or help group or something. For PC, water content and temp is the main issue with being clear. Oh, polycarbonate. I'm like, computer, what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, especially with like 3D printers. Like, if a new version of Clipper comes out with like Mondo mode, which makes your printers print amazingly well and super fast, okay, you may want to upgrade. But like, half the time when a new version of Clipper comes out, it's like, oh hey, this random new MCU is now supported, which you probably don't need to worry about because you're running a board from a year ago. So really, my advice with Clipper, install it with the newest version when you build your printer. And unless there's like a bug you have that makes you need to upgrade, or a feature comes out that you really want, don't bother hitting that update button. Unless there's like a newest version that you absolutely need or something, don't hit the update button. Like, put it this way. It's happened enough that there is a there's a GIF for it. It's happened enough that there's a Discord GIF for it. Okay. But the button tells you need to update. See this? Never. 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 Oh my God! They're gone! Remember? It's just like, you know, when, remember? For my boomer, my fellow unks in the audience, right? What do you do when on your VCR, when you have that little when you have the date on your VCR and the power went out for a second, so it's flashing? You just get that little piece of black electrical tape and you just go like this, and the problem's gone. Check engine light is not something you should probably do that with, but people do it. There is no update. The make sells a pre-assembled NH36 USB expansion to beacon cable. I hate crimping ZH pins. Jinxed it. I don't know if anyone makes a cable. What you could do, I believe you can buy, like, the problem is it's going to cost. The problem is you're going to spend a lot of money. You're going to spend more money than it's worth. Try crimping it. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. What you could do is on Amazon and like Ali, you can buy pre-made wires with the crimps already on it. So it'll be like, you know, a 5-pin JST or a 5-pin ZH or a 4-pin ZH. Just buy whatever and you can solder them if you don't want to crimp. But personally, I would say just try to crimp it. It's going to suck. Get yourself a good, proper crimper. I bought these years ago. These are PA09 engineer PA09s. I think there's like the PA21s are more popular technically. But like, I bought these 5 years ago and I use them regularly. And they are worth it. Get good, proper crimpers. If you do any sort of electrical stuff, they're worth it. They're worth it. So. West 3D or Fabrico. You could check them. You could check them. They might Because I do believe the beacons do come with a pre-made cable. You just got to put the ZH or whatever on. So you might be able to just find like a pre-made already, like, you know, steal something from something else, right? But I don't have an example, do I? I don't have an example. You might be able to like find like a pre-made, you know, example. You might be able to find like a pre-made cable like this that'll fit into your tool head board, and then one that fits into the beacon, and just kind of cut them and solder them, and just kind of make a cable that way, if you want. What is this for? Clicky. Oh, I didn't use clicky, that's why. I'm gonna have to go through all these and sort out all the extra gubbins I got. I should probably do that. You know what? We're gonna do that. I'm going to be productive today, damn it. We are going to put away all... Oh, no. Yes. I'm going to put away all the extra screws from this. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to be productive today, damn it. You guys are going to watch the printer print, and I'm going to be productive. M325. I'm going to be productive. I'm going to put stuff away for once. Aquamarine. It's not aquamarine. It is it's polymaker, Polylite PLA, Starlight Neptune. M3 washers. April Fool's is over. I know. It's a Christmas miracle. It's a Christmas miracle. The Canuck creator is cleaning up his mess. First time for everything. You guys like the screw sorting streams for some reason. They always seem to do well. So here's your screw sorting stream for those that are interested in that sort of thing. M26. What were the filaments used on the Micron? They are both from LDO Motors. So if you are interested, I don't know if LDO sells their filament through resellers. I don't know how that works, but it's LDO filament. It is LDO Plum Pink ABS for the pink, obviously. And then the blue-gray you see is LDO Industry Blue. So it is very gray with like a hint of blue. It shows up more blue in pictures, I think. Yeah, in pictures it shows up a bit more blue, but it's like gray in person and looks pretty blue. It depends on your camera. Depends on... This printer is very hard to take pictures of that show it color accurate. Like this camera right here, I think gets the most color accurate view. This, it's looking a little muted. So. M325. M330. Looks gray on camera. Yeah, it's one of those colors that kind of... Oh no! Oh no! My divider came out. There we go. Okay. I gotta find some... Do I have super glue out here? Not out here. There we go. LEO makes filaments now? They do? Fabrico is the only US distributor. Okay, so you gotta get through Fabrico then. It's good stuff. Do be aware, it is a little on the smelly side, but I kind of like that because it tells me that it's a real ABS and not like a blend. So it is a little on the ABS-y smell, not like crappy ABS filament. It smells better than crappy ABS filament, but it does have an ABS smell to it, which is good because it means it's ABS. It's not like a blend. At least just going off my nose, that's what it seems like. M3/8s. Good one. I swear, one of these days I will run out of M3/8s, but it will not be this day. $320. Lenovo wants 9.18 cents per case screw for my workstation. Is that absurd? Well, how many screws is that? I mean, years ago, so I have an acro bin, okay? I have an acro bin over here. You're gonna see the mess of a desk, but I have an acro bin over here that I keep all my screws in, okay? So I keep all my screws in that. So years ago, when I got that acro bin, one, buy a real acro bin. Yeah, you can 3D print them. When they're weighed down with like 50 pounds of screws, you don't want 3D printed. Buy an acro bin, bolt it to the wall so it doesn't fall down. But years ago, there was a store on AliExpress that was like, it had a sale, and they sold Voron screw kits. So like, basically all the screws you would need to buy for like a Voron V2 or a Trident. I bought like 2 V2s and a Trident's worth of screws and just filled the acro bin. And I've been pretty good with my screw count since. I haven't really had to, every now and then I have to like order a random size, but most of the time I can just grab what's extra from, I top up the bin with what's extra from kits, and it's been pretty reliable so far. Why do I have M8 washers? Hopefully I didn't need those for something. I'm assuming I did, but I never put them in. M330s. $100 M3/8s for $3. Oof. M340. Yeah, you could go the Gridfinity route. You could go the Gridfinity route. That's always an option. I've never really, I don't know, I've never really got into the whole Gridfinity thing. Because the thing is, I find it, no offense, I find it kind of wasteful. Because that acro bin with everything was like 40 bucks, if that. Like, Amazon. Acro bin. Acro mills. Acro. Acro screws. Trying to find the acro. Acro bin. Acro drawers? Trying to find the bin that I have. Acro Mills. Is there a number on it? Is there like a product number on it? I can't find it. Acro bin. It's Acro Mills. micro mills. Oh, yeah, it's like one of these. Oh, wow, prices have gone up. But yeah, like, okay. So you get this, right? 24, 44, 64. Yeah, I think I have the 64. Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 8 by 8. I have this. Okay, the prices have gone up. I paid like 50 bucks for mine, Canadian. But like, I have this, and I'm gonna say it's stronger, and it's probably gonna last longer than a 3D printed equivalent of this. If you can get them on sale, it'd probably be cheaper than the filament and the machine time, the power cost to print it. Or if you're looking for something for like grid storage, you wanna know what's kind of better, which if you got it, you got it. Go get a laser. Because you can laser cut this shit so much cheaper and quicker than printing. So just get a laser and make laser pine wood grids. Because you can make this shit so much quicker and easier on a laser than printing it. So, like, I get the Gridfinity system. I just kind of never got into it. So, I don't know. Oh, great. My M312s and M310s are mixed up. That sucks. Also, the tip that I'm going to give you is you can print little dividers to divide your sections. If you know you're going to be doing a lot, glue them in. Glue the dividers in. Put them in. Put a bit of glue so they stay in. Nothing is more annoying than having the divider pop out, because when the divider pops out, you're not going to have a good time. So just put like a little dop of super glue or something to keep them in place. I like how practical you are. Yeah, like it's not that I'm practical. It's just, I don't know. I used to work in a mold shop where like I was building shit daily. And it was like different stuff every day. And you just kind of get into a workflow that's more, it just works. And it just repeatability, and it just works. So it's like, I organize my tools by drawer, not by like in the drawer, just like this drawer is everything that goes this. If it does this, it goes in this drawer. If it's measuring, it goes in this drawer. If it goes this, it goes in this drawer. And it just all gets thrown in there, quick and easy. I don't do airplane shit, so I don't need little cutouts for everything, because that's what? That wastes space. My toolbox was packed with shit when I worked at the mold shop, and I got rid of a lot of it. So now I have room to do the fancy cutouts and whatnot if I wanted to. But like, when you just keep getting new shit, and you're literally taking, you know, I don't know if I have one here. Do I have one of my wrenches? Like, when you are literally taking, like, wrenches and you're torching them with an oxy torch, or, like, you know, you're taking your vice grips and you're grinding them down, you're grinding tips down on them so you can fit in tight areas, and then you're also welding nuts on the bottom of them so that you can clamp onto something, and then get your slide hammer so that you can use your slide hammer that you made yourself, screw into that, and then pull it out because you got something stuck in something. Like, when that's the kind of tooling you're working with, there's no set standard. Everything is just kind of kit bashed together. And you just kind of, you figure out the workflow that works and you stick with it. So. It's like The hardware equivalent of vibe coding. Did anyone see Alexandre Chappell's video about people accusing him of stealing Gridfinity to profit off of it? I have no idea who that is, and I thought Gridfinity was just like an open standard. What do you mean people are... How could... Who is Alexandre Chappell? Who is that? There's a LinkedIn? Who is that? They have a YouTube channel. 500,000 followers. I have no idea who this is. I have no idea who this is. Like, I did watch one of these videos, and I think I got like halfway through it, and I was like, okay, that's cool. Oh, I remember this one, I think. You didn't print a 13,000. You printed a camera arm that does the job that you can also buy a $13,000 one for. I hate that kind of YouTube clickbait. If you printed the $13,000 one, there'd be a cease and desist at your doorstep. You just made your own camera arm. There's ones that aren't 13,000 you can buy too. For simple screwing, the harder to justify cheap cots. Also, why isn't anyone done injection molded cheap bone? Honestly, because there's probably not a big enough demand for it. That's why. There's probably not a big enough demand for it. Carpentry stuff in 3D, but he's a builder. I mean, I build stuff too. But what do you mean stealing profits from Gridfinity? How? It's an open standard. Was he trying to sell Gridfinity stuff? Like, I thought it was Gridfinity was, hey, it's a grid of squares this big with magnets, and just if you want to make stuff that sits in it, here you go. How do you make money off of that? Also, I thought Gridfinity was Zach Friedman. Or not Zach Friedman, what's his name? I've met him in person multiple times, and I can never remember what his channel's called. Nuts. 335. Void Star Labs, yeah, Zach. Is it Zach? It's Zach, right? Void Star Labs, it's Zach, right? He had a system before Gridfinity that he was selling. Zach was inspired by it. So Zach made his own open system, and then... Oh, but he had his own system before that. Is that what it was? Oh my god. Freaking 3D printing drama. That is... It's the other day, I saw somebody... It was like on Twitter. Somebody made a tweet that they had created this. They woke up in the middle of the night, and it was tech bro bullshit, right? So they woke up in the middle of the night with this idea, and they used ChatGPT or whatever programming thing to program this app for their phone that looks like a billboard, that like the flipping tiles or whatever, because they wanted to have their TV display like their calendar as like an airport flipboard, and it was super cool. And they're like, I'm gonna sell this app for like, you know, a subscription thing for $10 a month, and I'm gonna make so much money. And he's like, just let so anyways, oh my god, my voice is so... Oh my god, got like a frog in my throat. Anyways, so he was like basically self-wanking himself on this tweet post about how awesome this idea was, and it was going to make him so much money and blah, blah, blah. And then the first reply to that is somebody's like, yeah, give me 60 seconds and I'll have my LLM agent make the exact same thing and I'll give it away open source. And somebody did that. Within like a minute, somebody had taken his idea, basically fed the idea into an LLM that spit out the code that does the exact same thing for this app he was trying to sell. And it's like, that's kind of the problem when like everyone relies on like an LLM to make stuff. Because then what the LLM outputs, anyone can do with the right, you know, you can reverse engineer anything. There's no like uniqueness to it anymore. Which is why like so many companies right now are having major crashes in value, because it's like, oh, you're a company that, you know, does like calendar stuff for like printing companies. Well, guess what? The printing company could just ask ChatGPT to spit out code for their own app. Why would they need to go to a company to make a program for them when they can just ask ChatGPT to do it for them? Right? So when everything is made by, you know, a clanker, it's hard to be unique. Because if you're just using the clanker to make everything, well then guess what? Your idea can be made by a clanker. That means why would I buy your product when I could just use my own clanker to make your thing? So. Can't legally copyright LLM output. I know, that's great. When everyone has superpowers, no one will be super. You didn't steal it. Bro, it's a grid system. You can't claim the grid system idea. Especially if it's like, oh, it's a 3D printed grid system. Oh my God. Somebody went into Fusion 360 and drew some squares. Oh my God. They stole from me. It's a grid system. Who cares? Like, it sucks if that was your big idea. But I mean, like, Gridfinity Retro. Rich mahogany. Gridfinity Retro. My idea. Original idea. Do not steal. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. Put it this way, I've heard of Gridfinity. I didn't hear anything about what this other guy made. I've never heard about what he made. The first system that I heard of was Gridfinity. So I didn't hear about no other systems. Ooh, extra sticky stuff. Okay. Oh my. The frick was that? Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind. I'm good. I'm good. I had a spool of filament fall off the shelf and hit a pile of empty spools on a lower shelf, and it scared the crap out of me. Okay, we're good. That scared the crap out of me. I thought something broke with the printer. I don't know if you heard that. Ooh, okay. Yeah, no, I have a pile of empty spools over here, and a spool that I moved earlier that was sitting on top of the retro Gridfinity. I just kind of put it beside, and it fell over, which took out a pile of empty spools and scared the crap out of me. There we go. One empty bin of screws. Nice. The guy's organization system, but still, it's a grid system. It's as original as drawers. It's not an idea you can copy because the idea itself is intangible. It's a grid storage system. That isn't anything unique. You can't unless you can patent the idea. It's not a unique idea. It's just it's a grid storage system. If it's like I were to come out with a grid storage system of my own tomorrow, it would just be my version of a grid storage system. It wouldn't be a unique idea. Gridfinity is just that version of a grid storage system. It's a grid-based storage system. People have been making those since before 3D printers. 3D printing one doesn't really change the idea. Like, again, taking this concept and then just 3D printing this kind of concept and making it modular is not an original idea. It's just a concept. It's intangible to claim you created that idea first. I mean, if he sells the files and I mean, it's 3D printing. There's always going to be an open, like, let's be honest, 3D printing is like one of the hardest hobbies to try and force a walled ecosystem on, because there's so much of like the community that is like, nah dog, I'm going to not pay for that. I'm going to make my own. We make our own printers. We'll totally design our own shit. It's like, oh, you want me to buy the file for your grid storage system? Okay, let me pull out my credit card. Oh, Fusion 360 opened up on my computer. Oh, here we go. Oh, people were coming after him saying he copied Gridfinity when his came first and was mentioned in Zach's video. Okay. I mean, what's the internet without drama? The internet without drama would be boring. Make it circles and no, guys. The biggest problem with Gridfinity is it's not hexagons. Let's be honest, it's not hexagons. If it was hexagon, it would be better. But Gridfinity will always be inferior to any other system because Gridfinity does not use hexagons. Because remember, they are the bestagons. Although the problem with hexagons, it doesn't fit into a rectangle cleanly. Made my brain hurt. This little rabbit that we're printing is coming along pretty good. We do only actual. Wow, the stream's actually flying by. I was actually planning to do a short stream today because I was out with the family doing Easter holiday dinners, and I'm full of ham and cake and wine. So I was gonna do a. So if you're wondering why I'm a little yappy, that's probably why. Because I literally just came from a family dinner before going live. Hextraction was cool. I wish that was more of a thing. It would have been cool to do hextraction, like make it a more of a thing. I remember when he brought it to Rocky Mountain like 2 years ago, and it kind of just one-time thing, and I haven't really seen it at anything else. Like the general idea of the game, the problem is like the game was too easy to metagame, I think. Maker coins was this hextraction. I mean, I got my maker coin here. I got my maker coin. There you go. Where does that lead you, huh? Where does that lead you? Everyone pull out your phone and scan the random QR code. It's totally not a security issue. No, it goes to canuckcreator.com, which just punts to my YouTube, because one day I'll actually get off my butt and make a website. Although I could just redirect it to the Rickroll, which I might do for Rocky Mountain. For Rocky Mountain, I might just redo my QR, but the problem is I use these as business cards too, so. Rickroll coins and mix them in. Well, the idea was, like, what would be really cool, you know how companies do giveaways at events? And the problem is, like, the biggest problem at doing an event is when they do the giveaway and everyone crowds around the booth. So what I would think would be, take these. The problem is you would have a finite amount. That's the problem. But the idea would be basically have QR codes on these that are kind of semi-randomized, but then have one that would like lead to a website. So basically at 5 o'clock, when you scan this, the website goes active, and if you have the golden ticket, it's a winner. And then you can go, hey, I won, and you know, they can verify by scanning it and whatever. So that way you don't have to be there. So at like, 5 o'clock, we're gonna do the giveaway. Everyone scans it, not a winner, right? That way y'all don't have to crowd the booth or something. And everyone gets a link to the website. So it acts like a business card and an entry ticket. Do I prefer mainsail over fluid? I honestly prefer mainsail now. I originally really liked fluid, and I used fluid a lot, but then fluid development kind of paused for a little bit. I think I can't remember exactly what happened. The lead dev stepped back or whatever. So I started using mainsail, and I just kind of haven't gotten over switching back to fluid, because I'm now used to the mainsail. They both basically do the same thing. It's just kind of personal preference for layout, and I've just gotten used to the mainsail layout. So they both use whatever one you like. There really is no downside to either. They both basically do the exact same thing for the average user. I do believe there are some features that are different between the two, but for what I use my printers for, there really is no difference, and I'm just used to the mainsail layout, so I stick with mainsail. I do have a couple printers with fluid, though. I do have a couple printers with fluid. Fluid seems to be the one that companies use. Like, I think Creality, the Creality I have, has a fluid-derived interface. So. Octoprint. I mean, the first printer that I ran Clipper on ran Octoprint, because that was when I got it. When I first used Clipper, there was no other way to use it other than Octoprint. You had to use Octoprint as your interface because Clipper was command line. It was either command line or Octoprint. Pick one, and then eventually, Fluid in. Because for those that don't know, Clipper GitHub, like. Here's the Clipper GitHub. Here's the contributors. Yeah, man. Repetier host. Is Octoprint considered obsolete? I don't know, because here's the thing. Who sells printers with Marlin in it now? Who is selling modern 3D printers with Marlin? Because like the idea was you would use Octoprint with a Marlin printer, but now if your printer has Clipper or you're running Duet, you already have the web interface. So the need for Octoprint is much less. So you ready? You got okay, so we got Kevin, okay. ArcSign, which Voron shit. Like, if you look in here, a lot of people you see on the Voron Discord will be in here. Meet you. Like, there's gonna be, you're gonna see a lot of familiar faces in here, if you look. So, Prusa is kind of Marlin-ish. Yeah, true. But, like, the modern Prusas have web interfaces. Soval? Do the Solvolve printers have Marlin? Which Voron kit would you suggest for index? Tried it. Probably tried it. I mean, technically V2 works too, but with V2 you either have to mount the rack to the front that has to move up and down, and then enclosing it will be a pain, or you have it at the top and then you have the movement penalty of going up and down. Trident seems to be the easier, simplest way to put index on a Voron. I'm going to be putting it on a Trident. Although beware, 1515 extrusion. Your X gantry uses a 1515 extrusion with the Trident. At least as of now, because of dimensional reasoning, because of the tool head and how it mounts and whatnot. To maximize build volume and not using an adapter that bumps it out, you have to go with a 15 and 15 extrusion. So the bigger the machine, you may have some issues. I'm going to be playing around with that. Also, I'm going to have to find a long piece of 1515 extrusion. I'm just realizing. I'm going to have to sort that out. But I'm going to put a titanium backer on the back, so hopefully that cancels it out. Hopefully. Heart K is a 2.4 solution. That's also the other cool thing with open source. There will be a lot of options. How long with 1515? Long enough for a 350 Trident gantry. So, however long the X, like however long this guy is on a Trident, I need one of those. Because I don't think I have any long enough. I'm going to have to dig through my inventory and my spare parts bins. I might have some, because when I built my original V0, I bought Masumi extrusions and cut them down. So I might have some offcuts somewhere, but I'll have to dig into that. You don't need the 1515 X gantry, you only need the 1515 tool mount bar. What is the 1515 tool mount bar? Oh, are you mean for the dock? Or what do you mean? I don't know, I was talking with Steve, and he said 1515. Because he's the one doing that. Let me dive into the totally not public super secret channel. I'm pretty sure that's a 1515. Oh. Okay, then no, I don't know. I'll have to talk with Steve then. I don't know. I'll reconfirm with Steve. I'll just reconfirm with Steve because he's the one doing it all. Because there's Trident stuff afoot. Ping it to Rocky Mountain. I'll let you know. I appreciate it. Although, would that be an issue with a carry-on? I don't think it would be an issue on a carry-on, a 1515 extrusion. I don't know, it depends. I've had them take Allen keys from me on a plane before, so. Steve is working on index stuff for Trident. Of course, there's stuff's always being worked on. Stuff's always being worked on. Tomorrow's video on the channel is about Voron V3. Totally for real, no capping. If you're a channel member, you saw the video already. If you saw it on Discord, am I lying? Am I lying? Why do you take Allen keys? Because I was coming back from a service call when I worked in the mold shop, and I just forgot them in my backpack instead of putting them in my luggage. Do we know how expensive index is? It's on the Bondtech site. I believe they have the pricing on the Bondtech site. Last I remember, it was like $300 for the tool head and like $25 a tool or something like that. I can't remember. The Harp K 2.4 solution is going to have a rear-facing toolhead. That's the thing. Like, it's... I really kind of want to do a rear-facing dock on a Trident because you have this big open space back here between the two... Or, let me zoom out. So on a Trident, you have this big open space in the back here between the two motors, right? So I wanted to put my tools there. The problem is you have to reverse the whole gantry, which means you have to redo your belt pathing. So I'm going to basically dig through everyone's mods and see what I can kit bash together whenever I get my hands on an index kit, which I am getting an index kit from Bondtech. It's just 690 USD for index and 8 head core 1. Oh, you mean for the core 1, yeah. People get bullets on them. Dude, I used to be paranoid. So I used to do competitive shooting, competitive pistol shooting, and do pew-pews as a hobby. So when I traveled to the States for matches, I would bring guns and ammo across the border. Now, I had the paperwork to do it, right? ATF Form 6, ATT from the border to my house. I had all the paperwork. But, like, I would always be paranoid going over without my guns, just in case I forgot something in the car, like a box of ammo or something, which sucked because in my old Focus, I had one of those bricks of like 500 rounds of 22 explode in my trunk. And by explode, I mean like the box ripped open and they went everywhere. And to the day I sold that car, okay, which was like 3 years ago when I got my Subaru, I was still finding 22 LR in my trunk. Like under the seat, under the tires, in a little corner. I would just constantly find 22. But yeah, if you saw me at events previous years and you saw that green backpack I brought around everywhere, that's my Maxpedition Falcon 2. That used to be my range bag. So it's got GSR on it and whatnot. I've washed it since, but it used to have GSR on it that would set off the swabs and all that. So I remember flying back. I did a tasking in Alberta, and it was like on the way back. We had to fly through, like, we flew civilian airports, obviously. And they, like, swabbed us all down, and we all set off all the alarms. And they're like, oh, wait, you guys are all Army, right? And they're like, yeah. They're like, so do you have anything you're not supposed to have on you? We're like, no. They're like, so then why is everything setting off for explosives? And it's like, because we were using explosives recently, and it's probably still on the backpack and our stuff. We got turned away at the U.S. Well, it was funny because when I would go over, right? So we have all these competition handguns, right? I shot double stack 1911, but I had guys with like open guns and whatnot, open class guns with comps and red dots and all that shit. So it'd be hilarious when we go over because we cross at Detroit, and they'd be like, "Oh shit, you go to Detroit, you're gonna need those." American border guards. Either the funniest, awesomest people in the world, or they just terrify the crap out of me. There's like no in between with the American border guards. They're either the friendliest, most awesome people to ever chat with. I sold a bamboo last time I crossed over, going to Smurf. I spent 10 minutes talking with the guy about 3D printers, because like as soon as like I mentioned 3D printing, his like you could tell work mode turned off, and he just started chatting because he's like, dude, okay, I seen that shit. What can you do with that? I'm like, oh, you know, I could do this, this, this. I'm like, can you print big things? I'm like, yeah, I got like a 6-foot Gundam at home. And he's like, dude, that's awesome. And we just started talking for like 10 minutes. The line behind me was getting long. He didn't care, and I didn't care. Like, I had time to kill on the way to the airport, whatever. And he's like, so, like, they're expensive. And I'm like, dude, no, they're not. They're cheap now, and they're good now. He's like, so, like, what do I do? I'm like, dude, go to Micro Center. Go buy a Bamboo A1. It's cheap. It'll get you in the door. If you find out the hobby's for you, it's a great starting point. And if the hobby's not for you, it was cheap and you could probably flip it. He's like, awesome. And he's like, he's writing down notes and shit. And then like sometimes it's like I mention I'm a YouTuber and I get pulled into questioning, asking if I'm going to take somebody's job. So it's like, there's no in between with me. Either I get somebody who just wants to shoot the shit, or I get pulled into secondary. There's no in between. A live box of 5.56 just dumped in like candy. And, oh yeah. Well, it's funny here in Canada. This is something that blew away some American friends' minds. In Canada, you can order firearms to your house. As long as you, like, when I built my AR lower just showed up at my house. You just order it. I've ordered pistols to my house. They just show up in the mail. Like in the US, you have to go through an FFL and everything. Like when I tell my American friends, like, oh, I'm building an AR, they're like, and I showed a picture of it, like, in the mailbox. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, it just shows up in the mail. They're like, you can't do that? And they're like, no. Hello, my poor AR is a safe queen now. Oh well. Randomly selected. Well, so the thing is, it's because YouTube. It's if I'm going somewhere. Basically to make it as simple as possible, if you are going to another country to work without a work visa, that is a no-no. So, for example, Rocky Mountain is coming up. I'm going to Rocky Mountain Rep Fest. I am purchasing my own tickets. I am purchasing my own hotel and travel and food and everything. Now, I have a company sponsoring the videos I make there, but they're sponsoring the videos I make after the fact. And they're not even an American company, okay? So I am not being paid to be at the event, okay? The event is not paying me, so I am not working. But, for example, say Rocky Mountain Rep Fest reached out to me like, hey Taylor, we love your voice. You got a broadcasting voice. You come to Rocky Mountain Rep Fest, we'll give you a hotel room. I can't do that. Not without a work visa. I can't do that without a work visa. Because now I am taking the job that an American could have had, or any country, right? So if you are being compensated, if you are doing something that somebody who is a citizen of the country would be compensated to do regularly, you are taking a job. You need a work visa. Simple as that. That's like there is way more to it than that. But at the end of the day, that's what it kind of boils down to. So if you think you're going somewhere to do a job, you need a work visa. So, not supposed to create anything of value as a visitor. There are Americans with my voice. I live south of Detroit. I don't have that big of a Canadian accent, which is hilarious. Like, I could see America from my house. I grew up watching, Fox morning cartoons and watching UPN. For my fellow Detroiters, I as a kid, I always wanted to buy shoes at Mr. Allen, 29 or 250. I bid on 8 Mile Street. I remember when Eminem came to our mall, when he was like new. I remember when Eminem's mom came to our mall and tried to do something. Like she tried to show up at our mall one day and try to be like, I'm Eminem's mom, pay me to take a picture with you. That happened. This was like late 90s. Yes, I do have a Canadian accent. We actually have our own, apparently, I watched the video on this. We have our own distinct regional accent down here in Southern Ontario, where it's basically like a very light Canadian on an American Midwest. So it's like a very light mix between an American Midwest accent with some Canadianisms. But because we're so, like, when I grew up, we had bunny ears on our TV, so I would watch American news, I would watch American TV, I would watch, you know, Letterman at night when, you know, my parents put me to bed. The TV in our room only had bunny ears. I would watch Letterman. Fuck Leno. Like, so I grew up just consuming American media, but, you know, my mom's from Nova Scotia. My dad is Canadian. Well, both my parents were Canadian. But, like, my mom's from Nova Scotia. She had a Nova Scotian accent. So it's kind of like a weird mix of, like... But nothing's too hard. We don't have that, like, Letterkenny, you know, that drawl that we don't... It's like thinking, like, all Americans sound redneck. Like, not all Canadians sound like Letterkenny. Midwest A. Like, I say H, not H. Or do I say H? I say H, not H. Like the letter H, I say H. I don't say the H and H. I say Z. I flip-flop between Z and Z. It depends. If I'm saying, like, I'll say zebra, but it's the letter Z. Or I just flip-flop between them on stream because I know it annoys people. So. Speaking of, we got 13 minutes left on the stream. So if you haven't entered for your chance to win some Polymaker Filament, link in the video description. Enter for your chance to win. H. Some people in the UK say H. My mom says H. My mom's from Nova Scotia. She says, well, I mean, I'm from Nova Scotia, but I've lived here my whole life. My mom says H. I say H. And I do not have that Toronto slang. Like it's the Toronto, it's like the weird like London Toronto accent without the Toronto isms. Like I don't talk like Drake. Oh God, like here you go, here's all the regional dialects. North Inland accent. Canada. Oh God, wait, these are actual things. Okay, let me... What is that? What are these? Are these videos? All Ontario. AU... Ontario? I don't know what that is. I'm down here. I don't know. Down the rabbit hole we go. That's the fun part of these streams, right? Print and chill. I mean, we're making a little wabbit. Although, I will say, this filament is coming out really nice. This is actually like... doing the pressure advance tuning and then the flow calibration, like, I don't know how good you can see it, but the finish on it is really clean. Like, that is a really clean finish on that bunny. Like, that is a mighty smooth bunny. It's a Starlight PLA. It's Polylight PLA Starlight Neptune from Polymaker. Which, if you want to buy some, link in the video description. Affiliate link, doesn't cost you extra. Anything extra go a long way in supporting the channel. We did pressure advance, or we did an input shaper yesterday, and then I did a PA and then a flow test. I know it's a direct feed extruder. It's going to be like 0.4 for flow. It's always 0.4 for pressure advance. It's always 0.4 for pressure advance. So earlier today, when I got back from dinner with the family, on my computer I have the I have like 3 monitors on my computer, and one of them I have the SLS or the Orion stream. Like I have the NASA live feed of them going to the moon and back, because you know shit's cool, space is cool. And I turned it on, and they just had like a feed from the camera looking at the capsule, and I'm like, is that a dude staring back at me? I just like, is there a random astronaut staring at me? And I'm like, who are you? I see you. And it turns out that's not a person, that's just like equipment that kind of looks like a face at low resolution. I love this picture though. Shows you how bright those SRBs are though. Those SRBs are so bright. You can't even, you can barely see the exhaust from the liquid engines. They have quite a few modified GoPros. I heard that. They also apparently had issues with Microsoft Outlook breaking, and they had to get NASA to remote in to do IT to fix, because the one guy's like, yeah, I got 2 instances of Outlook on my tablet, and neither of them are working. And then they had Bluetooth issues. Because they're like, one of the things they're testing is trying to use like actual normal off-the-shelf electronics. So they have iPhones. They have like just normal iPhones and like normal tablets and normal cameras, because they're like, let's just see how like normal shit works out in space. So, toilets on the fritz again. I know, I heard it froze shut, and they had to like rotate the spacecraft to melt the pee that was like solidifying on the outside. Slow-mo launch vid, yeah. So the cool thing about NASA, while their live stream footage was kind of they have a lot of cameras around the pad and in the air and whatnot. And because NASA is government and it's public, they basically have to release everything in a timely manner. So if you go on NASA's website, they have everything they have. Like they have all the archival footage for like everything ever on their website. So you can go watch like all the footage recorded on all the Apollo missions, unedited, just there. And then they have a bunch of stuff from Artemis too. And using the GoPro, no SD card. Yep, I remember that. I remember seeing that. It's got no SD card on it. What does that mean? Well, it means you're not going to be recording video. You would think that they would have a GoPro with built-in internal. They would have like a special space GoPro with built-in storage, because you can't really swap SD cards in gloves. Also, GoPros are notorious for overheating. As far like every GoPro I've ever used is like has overheating issues, and space is horrible for heat dissipation. So I don't know how that works. Like I'm assuming the GoPros are mounted to something that can dissipate heat, because a GoPro on its own would overheat really quickly in space. I think I have a Hero 10. I still use it. I use it for like time lapses. It's really good for that. I keep it on a monopod, and I just use it for like random B-roll whenever I need it. Yeah, well, she didn't eat it. So that's one of those things. This is one of the things they're finding out with space and using like normal commercial hardware in space. One of the things they found is when they open up the cameras, most cameras have springs to pop the batteries out, okay? And the springs usually aren't a big deal, okay? But when you're in zero gravity and there's no gravity, when you open that door up, the springs just launch the batteries. So that's something they've learned. So hey, in the future, if you're setting a spacecraft up with a camera, maybe have like, you know, a pull tab instead of a spring to remove the battery. That's like one of those things they learned. That is data. That is good, solid numerical data that they've now picked up. That hey, those little springs have enough force to yeet a battery when you open up the panel. So be careful of that, because we're used to working in gravity, right? Here on Earth, you know, you unhook the battery, you just, you know, okay, battery, it pops up a little bit and you grab it and you go. But in space, it just, it's gone. Good thing they did it inside the spacecraft and not outside. Otherwise, it would really be gone. NASA modified. Yeah. Who was it? BPS Space. I watched the video where he like broke down how he breaks down GoPros and mounts them inside his rockets, and it's like he doesn't bother with like any active cooling because he just puts like a block of aluminum on it that acts like a heat sink, and literally a heat sink in the proper term, where it just absorbs heat until it will eventually overheat because there's nothing to actively cool it. But because it only needs to run for like 30 minutes, the block will just suck up enough heat to run until the battery dies, kind of thing. Okay, we got 3 minutes left. So if you want to enter to win a spool of filament from Polymaker, you have 3 minutes to enter. Link in the video description. While you're down there, don't forget to like the smash button, ring the bell, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And hey, if you want to help support the channel, the content I create, and the things I do, consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, or if you are really cool, gifting memberships to others. And then I think, maybe after stream, I got Gundam Hathaway downloaded. I might watch that tomorrow or tonight. We'll see. This is actually some really nice filament. I'm actually really liking this filament. And honestly, like, here, let me get a picture of the bunny's bum bum. Because, like... Oh, wait, no, that's a video. Don't need a video of the bunny's bum bum. I don't know how good this will show up because of the lighting, but I'm showing it because it is smooth. All right, hopefully wait for it to sync. There we go. Like, yeah, so they not getting it that great because the lighting back here ain't great, but that is some clean layer stacking. The Starlight series, yeah. Like I'm actually like I normally don't put in orders for silk filaments. Like I have some because companies send me some, and I'll pick up the odd spool at an event. But I normally don't order it because I don't use it. But this stuff is, I may have to put in an order for this stuff. This is actually like a really nice filament. Now you seeing the green? Yeah, it's like a green blue. It's the bunny bum bum. Did you hear that a lot of publications about microplastics being everywhere may be wrong? Some researchers found stearated particles from lab gloves can show up in plastics in tests. Well, I would hope that the people doing the testing would account for that variable, but you never know. I mean, I believe it, considering the prevalence of plastics in our environment. And like, I got rid of a while ago, I used to have a bunch of plastic cutting boards. And those things, every time you cut something, probably getting a little bit of plastic in you. Now the question is, when you consume plastic, is your body absorbing it through your digestive system, or is it just, making its way through? That's the question. Like how much plastic is in, when I'm taking my Dremel you know, and I'm cutting something in plastic and I'm breathing in the fumes, is that microplastic staying in my lungs? Are they working its way out when I cough? Like, how much is actually staying in my system? Because I know the exposure is unquestionably there. It's just how much of it is actually staying in their system and what effect is that actually happening? Like, is it going to turn out like lead, where we find out in 30 years that we all have, you know, for those that don't know, the reason crime rates in the US and a lot of the Western world dropped in like the early 90s and whatever, is because that's when the generation that was born after we got rid of leaded gasoline started maturing. Those exposed to lead as children in later stages of life, from like adulthood onward, are more prone to aggression, irrational thoughts, and violence. That's the generation running all our governments right now, by the way, just so you're aware. So, you know, is microplastics going to turn out the next thing like lead? Or is it going to turn out like quicksand, where, you know, we're all terrified of it, but it's not really a problem? I don't know. We'll find out. How big is the bunny? 150 millimeters tall, which unfortunately is not going to finish by the end of stream because we're doing the giveaway right now. So if you didn't enter, you will have another chance on Tuesday. Nope, not learn more. Create. I want my sheet here. Close that. Close that. Close that. Close that. That. Okay, copy all the names. I'll save and open up marbles. Plant cellulose was also showing up as plastic. I could see it. I mean, like, here's the thing. It is a thing. Microplastics is a thing. It is affecting us. You know, it is a thing. But, like, what is the actual damage? And the thing is, if we'll, like, I don't know. Like, I remember, you know, remember when you would buy soap that would come with just plastic beads in it? Like, that was just a thing. I think they even sold toothpaste with it. Okay, so how this works, win, you get a spool of filament from Polymaker. Look at all this wonderful snow. If you win, you get a spool of filament from Polymaker. But if I pick your ball and you win, you are the luckiest ball in the world, because you will also win a free hat from my merch store, which I have a merch store. Check it out. I need to get new merch. This ball looks lonely. Train Wrecker. If you win, you get a free hat. Good luck. Exclamation mark Zoom Zoom makes your ball go faster. Exclamation mark Gullible makes everyone else go slower. Like the smash button, ring the bell, and be subscribed to the channel, and it will grease your ball up for extra luck. I mean, like, I used to work in a mold shop next to a 3,000-ton injection mold press. So when it comes to, like, exposure, I'm well exposed to plastics. I pretty much have the equivalent of those guys that smoked asbestos cigarettes. Plus, I did used to also smoke, so. VOC guy. I love the smell of paint fumes and ABS in the morning. Smells like cancer. Come on, Salty Day. Oh, shoot. I accidentally clicked. Okay. I hate maps like this because it's hard to follow whoever's in the lead. Because when I hit one, it goes to whoever's in the lead. But the problem is it measures whoever's in the lead by, like, as the crow flies, not by, like, map completion. Alright, so who's in the lead now? Sup, Jacob? Is this one of the ones where the thing moves? Why get one cancer when you get... I'm hoping for the Mr. Burns diagnosis, where if you just get everything, they all fight against each other and none of them can actually take control. I'm hoping for that. Oh, this is going to be one of those maps. Okay. Who is lucky and who's going to get screwed? Oh, it might be EV3D. EV3D. It's up to you, EV3D. Oh, we got competition. Oh! Morten Henriksen. Morten Henriksen. Congratulations, Morten Henriksen. Let me find you here. Morten Henriksen. So, you have won yourself a spool of filament from Polymaker. You'll get an email from me after the stream ends with information on how to collect your filament. Congratulations. Golf claps in chat. Let's get some golf claps in chat. Morten Henriksen. Some... Really want that free hat. One day somebody will get the hat. For the record, we do this every stream. 3 days a week, on average. And we've been doing the hat. I don't know how long we've been doing the hats thing for. It's got to be at least 2 years. It's got to be at least 2 years we've been doing the hat thing. So 3 streams a week. Most weeks, 52 weeks a year. 2 to 3 years. Nobody's won the hat yet. Because it's like a 1 in 200 to 300 chance of getting picked. And then you have a 1 in 200 to 300 chance of winning. So technically the odds of you are really high. But every stream it's a 1 in 200 to 300 chance. Of like, the odds of you getting picked and winning are very high. Don't get me wrong. The odds of you getting picked and then also winning are very high. It's in like 40,000 or something. But the odds of the person I pick winning is like just 1 in 200 to 300. And nobody has won the hat yet. So what I'm telling you is don't gamble, damn it. The odds are not in your favor. Holy shit. If you need better example of that, 3 days a week for 2+ years, a 1 in 200 to 300 chance, and nobody's won it yet. So yes, don't gamble. I used to work at a grocery store in the customer service department when I was in high school and college, and I sold lottery tickets. 7 years of selling lottery tickets. The biggest winner I ever saw was $2 grand. And the guy was in a pool with 18 people. So don't gamble, kids. Don't gamble. You will not win. So now we're going to switch over to Kick. We're going to go open up a stream on Kick right now. My NFTs. My monkey JPEGs! My monkey JPEGs! Okay, I'm waiting on Polymaker to send me the email. Anyways, I'll call it there. So I will post pictures of the Wabbit. Once the stream is over, I'll post pictures of the Wabbit. I'll take pictures. I'll post it on Twitter and the Discord and whatnot. So yeah, so shout out again to LDO Motors. They provided the filament and the kit that we used for this build. If you are interested in getting an LDO Micron kit or anything else from LDO, I do have a link in the description to LDO's reseller page. You can purchase it wherever fine LDO products are sold. Also, shout out to Polymaker for the spool of filament we gave away this stream and every stream. Links for them and more in the video description. Affiliate links don't cost you anything extra, go a long way in supporting the channel. And some of the links, like Gamer Subs, use code Canuck and save some money. And for those that donate to the channel, gift memberships to others who became members of the channel yourself, I thank you for not being able to do the things I do, create the content I create. Without your continued support, you make it all possible. I'm Taylor, Canuck Creator. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your holidays. Be safe out there. Wash your hands. And I will see you in the future. Good night.